ooh, ooh, ha, 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 ha. Sorry, that's what I had. Is that banana flavored?
It is.
Yes, there it is. I was about to say, I was like, it better be banana flavored.
I literally bought banana flavored yogurt just to be a prop for the beginning of the show. Not gonna lie.
I love it. I love it. I bet you it's delicious too.
Actually, it is.
Yeah.
Have you ever had this 000 yogurt?
No, I've not.
No fat, no sugar, no artificial sweeteners. That's
Good.
that's the 000, and it's Greek yogurt.
Greek yogurt. Sounds delicious. You're making me hungry, Scott. Damn it.
We're gonna go bananas tonight. What can I say?
I know. Oh, the puns. The puns are happening. Obviously, no monkey business. Hey.
Hey.
What's happening, guys?
Dave can't help but monkey around with the spelling.
I know, right? Yeah, I know. I messed up on the beginning of it, but it's fixed now. We're good. It's not monkey business. It's monkey business. What's happening, everybody? Welcome to DC Fan-imated. I'm, of course, Dave the Film Junkie, and with me, as always, Mr. Scott McClellan.
Yep, I'm here to be a pain in Dave's ass. Yay!
No, that's the dynamic we got. You know,
it is the dynamic we have.
I like set it up so like fast because I was like, oh shit, I got to get going.
Oh, I could tell. Oh,
yeah,
I could tell.
It really fast. According to King, we're doing this way too early, which I think we're not. But okay.
No, trust me. The fact that I'm awake right now is a testament to how much this show means to me, because I was ready to fall asleep about an hour ago.
Yeah, I think maybe he lives in a different, on the other side of the world. I don't know, but
I know time zones are interesting, apparently.
So yeah, speaking of other side of the world, happy Australia Day. What exactly is Australia Day? That's what I wonder. But hey, I don't know, but it's probably something like 4th of July for us, probably, or something like that, maybe. And we got Jason here too. Ahoy, ahoy. Good to see you, buddy. And we got the other Jason. We got Fear Jason as well. Mask of Shy right there. Caesar wants banana. I know, right? You get a little bit of, Planet of the Apes or Rise of the Planet of the Apes vibes a little bit, I guess you could say. If we're going to go down that route. But yes, guys, we are talking about, of course, monkey fun when it comes to Superman animated series. And, this is an episode where it's a little goofy. It's a little whatever, but it's, there's something endearing about this episode.
It's a cute episode. I'm not going to lie.
It's a cute episode. Good way to put it right there. It is. Because, the way that it even starts off when we see a young Lois 20 years ago and just seeing how, she loves Titano so much. And we see like we get a little backstory when it comes to Lois.
Well, I realized that after all this, we had never met her family. She had referenced things about her dad, but if you were just watching this show with no prior Superman knowledge, you'd have no idea that her father was in the military until this episode, even though they make him Air Force instead of Army, which I thought was an interesting choice.
Well, you got to change things up I don't know why. I didn't even think about that. I'm like, yeah, you're right, huh?
Because he's in dress blues, which is an Air Force thing. And since he's with the space program, that would be connected to the Air Force. And actually, if you look at his uniform, they have an insignia at one point that looks birdish. So I'm like, oh, so he's in the Air Force. Okay, this is different.
He's in the Air Force in this one. And go ahead and exit out and come back in. It's doing the thing.
I was waiting.
Oh, yeah, I know. Always happens. Sorry. Got a little toothpick because I was eating as I was preparing for the show. So, some deliciousness. But yeah, so I didn't even think about that though. It's a good catch right there when it comes to.
I pay attention to things like that.
Yeah. It's you do that. That's one of the things. Just going back to these episodes as 40-year-old nerds, still we pick up on the little things.
Yeah, because we get Lucy in this episode for the first time, and then of course, as we mentioned, we get Sam Lane for the first time. So it was fun. There also is some very interesting cameo in this episode.
Is there?
Yes. Okay, so we have Titano, who is an actual character from the comics. He was created in the Silver Age by Otto Bender as a supervillain. Excuse me. First appeared in Superman number 127 from February of 1959. Origin story is practically the same as what we see in this episode. But did you pay attention to the name of the doll that Lois plays with?
Oh, crap. In my notes? No. Start with a B, right?
It did start with a B. That's
Yeah.
correct.
What is it?
Well, she called the monkey doll Beppo.
Beppo. Okay. That
Okay.
does sound familiar.
Well, because Beppo is a member of the Legion of Super Pets.
Ah, that's I didn't even put that together. Okay, yes.
Also created by Otto Bender, first appearing in Superboy number 76 from October of 1959, so just a month after Titano's first appearance. Now in the comics, he's supposed to be a Kryptonian monkey.
Okay.
Because he is Beppo the super monkey, while Titano is the super ape.
Ah, there it is right there. Wow. There you go. There's some knowledge right there. Some little bit of backstory when it comes to this episode. And yeah, didn't even, it's funny too, because, well, we'll get to it, but the way that this episode ends, when it comes to Beppo, it's
Yes.
just, it's fitting now that you get that knowledge. It's really fitting when it comes to that. But love that. But yeah, like I said, we do get a young Lois. And like I said, we do get introduced to Sam. We get to her father. And then, of course, her sister, Lucy. And so we get a little bit of a backstory. And I mean, I think a lot of people, I guess Superman and Lois probably has been like pretty strong at introducing the father, Lois's father, more than previous iterations when it comes to live action, right? We haven't really seen him in other besides this.
Well, he has shown up. In Lois and Clark.
Did he show up in that?
He did show up in Lois and Clark, but he wasn't military.
Okay.
He was like a con man.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was a con man kind of deal.
So
He did show up in Smallville.
Okay, well, I didn't really dive into
Well, you know who played him in Smallville?
Who?
Michael Ironside.
Oh shit. Well, man, how many? Oh man, I love that guy and his voice, of course. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Keep going. Anywhere else?
Oh, live action.
That was it, huh?
I think, at least that I can remember. Now, I'm not saying that I'm 100% correct on this, but then of course he did show up played by a different actor in the first season of Supergirl.
Okay.
Because Lucy was in the first season of Supergirl, and then Lucy shows up in Superman and Lois, played by the same actress who played her in Supergirl. So that was
changed the actor because the actor who's in Superman and Lois, I don't know his name, but I know he was like, wasn't he in Congo? He was in the movie Congo, I think.
Oh, dude, that's a callback. Oh.
Dude, I love that movie. I used to watch that movie anytime it was on HBO.
Hey,
like
based on a fabulous novel by Michael Crichton. Not gonna lie. So,
oh yeah.
But yeah, I forget the actor's name, but I love him. He does a really great job as Sam on that show.
Yeah,
so
for sure. But yeah, we get a little backstory, and obviously we have Titano as just like a pet to Lois and Lucy, but Sam comes in and goes, "Hey, I always told you that he was going to have to go away because it wasn't just." It is kind of funny because I was watching this. I'm like, it's kind of messed up that you bring this monkey to your kids, and then you're like, yeah, but we're going to launch him into space. We're going to eventually just shoot him off into space because we have to do some kind of experiment, but fall in love with him right now, kids. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's not a way to do it.
But it was interesting though that I have never caught on to this until this time. Once again, the whole watching as a 40-year-old deal. But I love how the animated series explains his name of Titano. Because did you catch the name of the rocket he's on?
Yeah, it's Titan, and then they put an O like right.
No, it's not O. It's a zero.
Oh, it's a zero, so it's Titan Zero.
Titan Zero.
Okay, that makes sense because when you see the rocket go off when they launch them, yeah, it says Titan, and then there's like a little bit of a gap in zero, yeah, and then it's kind of like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. But I didn't think I was like, oh yeah, that does make sense that it's Titan Zero. It's the first launch of the Titan rockets or whatever the hell. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool because in the comic, Titano's name was Toto, and
Mm.
Titano became his villain name after he gets mutated. Because actually, in the comics, it's kryptonite
Oh.
that changes him. Because this story was even told, there was a filmation series that came out in the 60s called The New Adventures of Superman. It was at the same time they were doing a New Adventures of Batman in that filmation Super Friends style of animation. Now, and in the Superman series, it was Bud Collyer who had been the voice of Superman on the Fleischer cartoons and on the radio show. He
Mm.
voiced Superman again, and they would do like 2 segments in an episode. So there's like a 7-minute segment called "The Chimp Who Made It Big." It was the I know, right. And it was the 4th episode of the New Adventures of Superman, and they tell this story in that animated series, and then they tell it in a much different way because of this, what we're talking about, the idea that Titano and Lois have a connection, which I really think stops this episode from being just a complete throwaway.
You're right, because not only do we get backstory with Lois, but yeah, we get the connection. I mean, look at the thumbnail that I use. That image right there of her just like being like, "No, don't take him away," kind of thing. So you see young Lois just like holding on to him and not wanting him to go away. So obviously, we know when you watch this episode, especially if you watch it fresh, you know that's going to come into play, of course, 20 years later, which, of course, after Titano gets launched into space and his capsule like goes out of control and just they basically just lose him in space. And then we get to the whole 20 years later, and then we got Superman in, of course, his spacesuit talking to Professor Hamilton, because there's a nice little meteor shower that's headed towards, the space station that they have up there, and Superman's got to do some punching.
Yeah, rocket socking robots. Let's smash things. But
Oh
of
yeah.
course, as soon as he smashes them, they start glowing blue and like shooting off into these other directions, which I appreciate Superman recognizing that he even tells Professor Hamilton, I've started some sort of chain reaction, which is accurate because that's exactly what you're seeing there. But it's
Hmm.
like, Superman, maybe stop punching things
Yeah.
because this isn't working out the way we thought.
I know it's fun, Soupies, but hey, when things like this happen, yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that to go, other things to go wrong when it comes to at least, space and where it could, affect the Earth. But yeah, and then one of those meteors, of course, has a little capsule that is, that's has it in there, and we see little Titano in there, just kind of like sleeping, just sleeping. He'd been sleeping, he'd been resting for 20 years. But
I
hey,
I could use that. Not gonna
right?
lie. Yeah.
I know, right? I think we could all use that, man. Can you imagine that? Yes.
I also thought it was interesting that because they say it's 20 years later, we kind of get a confirmed age for Lois.
True, because what would you say, 28?
8. Because
There
she's
you go. Yeah.
yeah, she's 28, which is
Uh,
interesting. I would have said probably early 30s,
yeah.
but no, 28 because she talked because when she sees Titano at Star Labs, and she's like, "Titano, it's Lolo." And I love Tim Daly's I love his
Lolo.
delivery of Lolo. I was 8.
Yeah. And then of course he says the name again, of course, to
Yes.
her. Because of course you're
Oh,
gonna use that.
oh my god, that's like blackmail material for the rest of the time.
I know. See, and again, with all the debate about like what happened in the past couple of weeks when people were talking about a humorous Superman, I'm like, can I get with? I'm hoping that James Gunn, when it comes to Superman Legacy, capture this kind of humor when it comes to Superman. Superman's never been a not humorous dude. He's got his own kind of dry sense of humor. Just like Batman has his own dark, dry sense of humor to him too when it comes to when it comes to the animated world.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
Uh-huh.
Kevin Conroy, you know, I some of my favorite gags are in Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah.
Usually, however, being delivered by Alfred, but still the humor's there. You know,
It's there. And
You're the very model of sanity, sir. By the way, I put away your I ironed your tights and put away your exploding gas balls.
exactly, stuff like that, But yeah, when it comes to Tim Daly delivering like little lines like there, low, low, I mean, it's great. It's just this, yeah, like we said, like the way that Tim Daly delivers those lines, and I'm like, yeah, that's Superman's humor right there, or at least Clark's humor, But yeah, so obviously we got Titano back, and then of course Lois is like, wait, I'm not gonna take him. I got a little small apartment, I'm a busy schedule, and blah blah blah. But she still does, and naturally she can't, I mean, you have this monkey in your apartment,
And he's
and
monkeying around.
yeah, literally. He's, it's monkey business. And not to mention, after like we see the first little growth spur that happens, it glows like because she's just like,
Yeah.
and then he
Okay,
just kind of,
can I ask you a question though? This is
yeah.
if I'm gonna have one nitpick about the episode, it's the fact that the episode doesn't quite what causes
Yes.
the
That
spurts?
so when you were talking about the kryptonite thing, I was like, all right, that makes sense. But what the hell happened here? Like, what is going on here? Because then we get some crazy bacteria that comes out of these like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle tubes, and they start doing their thing, and Superman has to like take them on. And I'm like, all right. And I was like wondering that too. I'm like, did I miss something? Because what is causing the growth spur? It's just like a blue glow. It's almost like
Okay, no,
maybe,
no. Hamilton explains that part though.
okay, he did.
Hamilton explains that there's some irradiated gas that's trapped in the meteor.
Okay. So maybe when Superman was punching them and
Well,
that
but
ignited it, I don't know.
no. That's
Okay.
that's what happens. No, he punches
Okay,
it.
yeah.
You expose the gas to air, and
Ah,
that causes a reaction that mutates, and that's what causes Titano to grow, and what causes like the bacteria to grow. But my question is that Titano seems to randomly grow throughout the episode without some sort of event or something that says, okay, when this happens, it's going to trigger an additional growth spurt. It
okay.
just seems to randomly happen, and it seems to be convenient for plot.
Of
And
course.
and so my nitpick is that the episode doesn't give us a more specific when this happens, it triggers the next stage of a growth spurt.
Okay, so yeah, because when the bacteria hits air, they start going crazy. But Titano is just, going nutty nutties and whatever the hell in Lois's apartment. And then all of a sudden, we see the glow. She doesn't see it, but of course, that happens. And then I love how she just tries to pawn him, of course, pawn him off of Jimmy to go get a
Jimmy, yeah, I
massage.
know.
Poor Jimmy, and then of course he keeps growing even more and more, and it's like, oh boy, yeah. And yeah, Lois is just trying to get a massage. It's like, of course,
I
Lois
don't
would do
blame
that.
her. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I
Yeah.
was looking at that going, that would one of those would feel really good right about now.
Especially
That would be
dealing with Titano. I mean, yeah, especially dealing with that. So, but yeah, then of course we keep getting that, and then of course back at Star Labs, like we were talking about the bacteria, tube falls, and then they start growing, and then because Superman's already there, thankfully, because I mean, yeah, that bacteria just turning into like big, huge squid like, craziness that's happening, and he has to like take them on to the point where it's like he gets like they all just like surround him, but of course he just does his little, Superman. But then Professor Hamilton goes, "Hey, I got a fire extinguisher. Let's freeze all these little things and helps." So technically, Hamilton defeated these big, huge
well,
bacteria.
because the carbon dioxide would funny you should make the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle joke. Sounds like the plot, the way they they defeat Tokar and Razor at the end of Secret of the
Yeah.
Ooze,
Oh,
because
that's true. Yeah.
you need we need carbon dioxide to increase the chemical reaction.
Oh man, now I want to watch that movie. Yeah, I just saw the tubes and I'm like, that reminds me of the TGRI like tubes. I was like,
And
that's
now I'm
what
thinking about the fire extinguishers that
I
hearing
didn't
Vanilla
even
Ice.
think about that.
Yes, I know.
That's awesome. Oh man. And then I love that the yeah, we get like of course, we get a gag of, because Jimmy's like, all right, I got to get out of here because he's getting too big. He runs out on the balcony, slips on a banana peel. It's like,
Oh,
womp,
gee.
womp.
Aw.
It's like, of course, slips on a banana peel, because obviously after the, talking about the bacteria, Hamilton and Superman are just kind of like, oh, wait a minute, look what's going on here. The same thing is probably happening to Titano. So naturally, Superman's like, I better get over to Lois's place. And then, of course, luckily that happened because Jimmy slips, falls over the edge, skyscraper. I mean, it's a luxury apartment way up there, falling over, and Superman, of course, saves him. Yeah. Yeah, swoops in and
Nice.
saves him.
I mean, a nice little swoop there. I mean, he like scoops him up like at like just the most opportune time, and then carries him back up to the top.
Perfect. Perfect. But then, of course, Lois shows back up and she gives a nice little yell because of how messed up her apartment is. And, of course, the big, huge monkey that's in there.
No, the monkey's gone by the
Oh,
time
yeah,
she
he's
gets
gone
there.
by that time. She's just a mess, of
The mess
course.
of the giant hole.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would cause anybody to scream. I think no matter what, you'd probably scream, especially with that kind of apartment, because something tells me that apartment isn't cheap where it's located in the city.
You know what? Pulitzer Prize winner reporters apparently, they make bank.
She mentioned that she's a busy woman. She's always, come on. I mean, she says she had a small apartment, but let's face it, it's pretty, it's not small.
It's not small. No.
It's not small. She was, yeah. She was doing it right there when it came to that. But so we get Titano showing up at the zoo, of course, because why wouldn't he show up?
Mommy, monkeys.
Course.
Yes, honey, monkey. No, big monkey.
So yes, so then of course we got a little bit of a battle between Superman and Titano when it comes to the zoo. And hey, oh yeah, I mean, is this but then after this we do get that cameo, or is this the little cameo that you were talking about of somebody?
No. I was talking
Okay.
about just the fact that they called the doll Beppo at the
Oh
beginning
yeah,
of
that's
the
right.
episode.
But
Yeah.
after this little, scene at the zoo, we go to the dock where
Oh, yes.
Titano, and he starts. I love how Titano is just like finds all these, what do they call those bushels of bananas? What do they call it?
Yes,
Like
it's a
yeah, bushels.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he starts just eating them, and then who shows up?
Bibbo!
Yes, good
Bibbo
old
Babowski.
yes, recognize that voice and everything like that, man.
I
And
love how he climbs to the top with a rolled newspaper and smacks him on the nose. Bad monkey.
yeah, there's some cheesiness that comes with this episode, but I dig it. I dig it.
I enjoy it. I mean,
Yeah.
the animation is B team, but it's still just it's cute. And it could have easily have devolved into much more of like a King Kong ripoff,
True.
which it doesn't. It actually refrains from going full on King Kong.
Yeah, because he could have just like found Lois and been like, "All right, come with me," and then he would have just climbed up onto the one of the tallest skyscrapers and just done something like that. And then Superman comes in and does something. But no, they didn't do that. But it's great to hear Brad Garrett, of course, again, and with his little and and I mean, obviously, like you said, doing that. And it's a quick little scene. It's quick, it's nothing like too crazy. But yeah, so after that, when he's eating all those bananas, and then of course
Major
I think
Crime shows up.
oh yeah, we got Turpin, we got Maggie, we got them showing up. And I like how she's just like, man, we take on like aliens and whatever the hell. What the hell is this? And then it's like it's basically like, I mean, they've taken on some shit, those two. But now a big, huge monkey. Holy crap! They're like,
And Turpin's like gung ho. It's like, let's do this.
it's like, hey, whatever the hell happens, let's go. And then they're firing away. So why not? So it's cool that we got some more players in the Superman the Animated Series world that show up to take on Titano right here. And yeah, well, we got them, and then of course Superman. Obviously we got the little fight that's happening, and then Lois and Jimmy show up to where they're at, and I mean this is at the amusement park at this time, right?
Yeah, it's basically
Yeah.
like a Coney. It's kind of like a Coney Island boardwalk type of deal. But Lois is smart because she apparently has still held on to Beppo.
Yeah.
And Beppo has always been kind of like a special thing because, squeeze him, and what does he do? He plays Pop Goes the Weasel.
Yes, and there's a special little connection where, of course, Titano is going to recognize that, and that's the connection that they establish at the beginning, which is good, and it's good for the story. It's good for that connection, and
Because the monkey chased the weasel all around the mulberry bush. Pop goes the weasel.
There you go. I like it. I like it. I like it, Scott. Good job. Good job. Proud of you.
I love being able to just like recite those lines, putting such like sincerity and seriousness
Yeah,
into the words.
it is good because Pop Goes the Weasel. That was good. I really like that. Oh, geez. So let's see, where are we at here? Yeah, of course they show up to that, and
Yeah,
let's
it's kind
see.
of hard to discuss the episode at this point because then
Yeah.
it's just a fight.
It is a fight. I know. We'll get to the clip in a minute because I was going like, should I start it now? Because there's a lot that's happening when it
But
comes
it's
to this
just
fight.
but it's all just action. So
Yeah.
it's not really like, I think that's the thing about this episode is it's a silly fun episode.
It's a silly, fun episode, and we get this line from Superman, Tim Daly. I'm sorry, Lois, but your monkey friend is going down. It's like just shit like that. I mean, he says that to Lois. It's ridiculous.
No, the one I love is when Titano knocks over like the game stand with all the plush monkeys, and they lose Beppo.
Yeah.
And Jimmy's like, I don't know if we ever find it. And Lois like, shut up and keep squeezing the monkey.
It's such a ridiculous episode. It's like, oh man, it is crazy. It is crazy. So yeah, well, we might as well just go
Let's
into
just jump into it. I mean,
the clip because we're jumping in when there's a Ferris wheel that is happening. We'll jump in we'll jump in right here. But it gets a little crazy. There's a Ferris wheel, of course, people on it, and Superman, of course, has to save the day. So here we go right here. And of course, there's all the little monkeys down there, little plush monkeys that he got to games, and there they are. It's like crap.
That's not Beppo.
Believe this, Beppo. Beppo, where
And
are
she
you?
just throws it. She just throws it at Jimmy. It's a
I love how she's calling out to the stuff.
I know, like it's gonna like answer. Yes, Lois. This Ferris wheel is pretty high tech, though. That's not your normal kind of Ferris wheel.
No, it is not.
Yeah, that's Metropolis for you.
The music is so serious.
I know, right? And then it gets to not serious.
You're sure
right here.
it's in here? Yes, I'm sure. So shut up and keep squeezing the monkey.
Squeezing the monkeys. I forgot to mention that Sam Lane was the one who still had Beppo. That's where they got him from.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Right. And there she goes. She hears him.
Pop goes the weasel.
Bingo.
Yep. Keep holding. And there it is. What the hell is that? And smart on Lois to put it onto the speakers so he could hear it, Good on her. Smart.
Because Turpin and Sawyer are trying to gas Titano,
Yeah.
but he's not staying still long enough for them to do the gas.
Yeah.
And the best part about Lois playing this Pop Goes the Weasel is that it's going to chill Titano out. So once again, he has that emotional attachment to that doll and to that tune.
Yeah. Then of course we get a Superman doing his
It's okay. We got him.
Wipe that brow.
right. Superman might not bleed, but he sweats. And there it is. Oh, go to sleepy. Oh, then you get that music. Aw. And then
Oh,
Superman, I don't love how Superman like goes, okay, let's not make him like knock his head onto the ground here, guys.
let's put him down easy. Isn't that so sweet of Superman?
And then of course he gets put on an island, secluded
Skull
island.
Island.
I know, right? Oh, it's just obviously Star Labs now has stopped him from growing, so he's not going to be that much. But of course, he's going to save his monkey friends right here from any kind of predators.
He should be fine here, Lois.
I like how
Now
they're just
Star
standing
Labs
there.
will stop
Like,
I know, right?
I guess I have to say goodbye again. Though this time, I don't think I'll miss him quite as much.
probably not. And then, of course, look what his necklace looks like. Adorable.
It's Beppo.
It's Beppo. Good way to end the episode right there. So yeah, like you said, it's a fun little episode.
It's
It is.
cute. It's just cute.
It's
you know,
cute.
and
Yeah.
it's cute without being stupid.
Yes.
That's the thing I like about it.
Right, because there's a lot of like smart things that happen, even to the detail of like they could have just let Titano again when he got gas just, but Superman literally was like, oh whoa, I got his head, just a little detail like that, goes a long way, a long way for us.
Now we had a voice that we didn't mention.
Okay,
I
What
didn't
voice?
recognize the voice. Oh, Sam Lane,
okay, who is Sam Lane?
Dean Jones.
Okay, who is he? Like nobody
know.
really known now.
Well, kind of, sort of.
Okay,
Did you ever watch the Herbie movies?
no, I did not.
Oh, you never watched like The Love Bug or anything like that?
I think when I was a kid, I might have watched Herbie the Love Bug. Wasn't what's his name in that? From Andy Griffith. Was he not in those?
Don Knotts?
Yeah, he wasn't in those. Was he? The old ones?
I don't know. But Dean Jones was the driver. Was
Okay.
Herbie's driver.
Okay. Because there was like another voice in there that I was like, man, that sounded familiar. That sounded like, but that was like somebody else. It wasn't Sam Lane. It wasn't him. But there was like another voice in there that and maybe I'll go back and look and see if it was. It sounded like the voice who plays Ray in the real Ghostbusters cartoon. I was like, did that sound like that? But of course I was like, nah, let's just move on. And I just like moved on.
You mean like when you didn't recognize actually Ernie Hudson in that
I know.
one episode?
God damn, in that one episode. Oh man, that was so funny because I was like, wait, that sounded like the guy who plays Winston in Real Ghostbusters, and they're like, well, actually, it was Ernie Hudson. I'm like, oh Jesus. I'm like, well, they did a good job of the voice casting, of course, when it came to Winston, because they cast somebody that does sound like Ernie Hudson. They did a good job when it came to that. Hey, that was fun. That was a funny moment when it came to that. It was a few episodes back. But no, I didn't know. Yeah, okay. So, but I know I think I watched that, but I don't know why I thought Don Knotts was part of that, but maybe I'm confused.
He might have been. I know he was, he was also, because Don Knotts was in the Apple Dumpling Gang.
Okay.
So, same era of Disney live action movies.
Yeah.
So,
and then I see Jason was like, talked about the Lindsay Lohan movie with Michael Keaton. I remember that Herbie the Love Bug was like the remake.
It was the remake, yes.
Yeah, it had Lindsay Lohan and it had Michael Keaton in it. I remember that, but I don't know if I ever saw the remake. But I do remember a long time ago. I think maybe my dad was watching or my mom was watching it. And but yeah, I didn't recognize the voice or I
didn't recognize it either, but it's just like, because it's our first time seeing Sam Lane, and I was just kind of like, okay, this has got to be somebody.
Yeah, right.
And I looked at the name in the credits and I was like, okay. So I looked it up and went, okay, Herbie the Love Bug. I got you.
Yeah, something. All right. Well, there it is, guys. That is monkey fun right there. And what do we got next week?
Oh, we have a good one. We have such a good one.
Boy.
Okay, I'm gonna be curious if you can remember this episode from the title, because this is not only is this an important episode for Superman the Animated Series, retroactively it becomes a critical episode for all the DC animated universe.
Oh shit.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
So folks, next week you should be watching Ghost in the Machine.
Come on. That title gives away I think that title gives away something right there. Because I think, well, I mean, at least for me, because I'm thinking if we're talking about a ghost in a machine, we're talking about a certain being in machinery in that we haven't seen in a little bit, right?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
okay. This is some Brainiac shit going
This
on
is a
right here.
Brainiac shit. Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
okay. Okay, because when you said that, I'm like, all right, there's no way that that's not because I remember when, Brainiac finally comes back, but I didn't remember the episode. And I'm like, that sounds like this would be this episode right there with that title. Okay, good. Yes. All right. And I'm sorry, I
We got
kind of
a
remember this
damn
episode.
good episode next week.
Yes, we got to really okay, yeah, because I'm starting to remember this episode. It's starting to ring in my brain right now. Oh yeah, we got a good one coming next week, folks. Oh, for sure, Brainiac coming back, baby. That's right, and yeah, like you said, it's significant to the entire DCAU that we're talking about right here. At least when it comes to all this, yeah.
Yeah, because I still remember the moment that I was watching a certain episode of a certain series, and I just went, "Holy shit, that's a callback!"
Nice. Oh man, can't wait. So there you go, guys. The Ghost in the Machine, right? That's what it was called.
Just Ghost in the Machine.
Ghost.
No,
Okay, I thought it was the. I don't know. Makes it sound more serious when it's that. So watch that watch that and be with us, of course, next week on Thursday. Of course, the new time when it comes to DC Fan-imated. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good episode to talk about. I'm excited because I'm excited for the return because I'm like I said, some of it's like ringing in my brain. I'm like, oh yeah, this is definitely going to be a good episode right here because we've had some episodes where it's just like, okay, we have some one-offs, and it's just like, hey, we just have some Superman stories, but now we're getting back to the continuity, I guess you could say.
Oh yeah, the continuity.
We're getting back to the continuity, which is always great. I always love the continuity type of episode. So there you go, guys, and we appreciate you spending some time with us with some monkey fun that we had, and yeah, we went ape for this episode for sure.
Oh god, you went.
I know.
Oh,
Of course I had to do that. What are you talking about? Come on. We went ape. Could have went, I don't know. I was like wondering when I was going to do
You're such a
something.
chimp.
I know, right? I'm such a chimp. Jesus Christ. Can't control me. God. Lock me up in a zoo. All right. Go ahead and send us off.
Scott. Of course, you can find me on Twitter at ScottDC27, on Instagram at McMerlin, and on Vero at Scott McClellan. You can find my podcast, the DC Squadcast, wherever podcasts can be found. We're on Vero, Facebook, YouTube, and the entire network of shows at squadcastmedia.com.
There we go. All right, guys. See you guys tomorrow. The Vodka stream at 7 p.m. Pacific time. No guest. So it'll just be panel and just talking about all the things that have happened during the week. Should be a fun discussion. And we'll see you there. Like and subscribe. Do all that. And, of course, next week we'll be talking to you. There was some little Brainiac action that's going to be happening next week. Can't wait. We'll see you guys next Thursday on DC Fan-imated. Talk to you later.
Bye.